I'm gonna go through my entire die-cast collection in this video that I have displayed over here, and I have 2 bins and a bag full of die-casts that I haven't even displayed yet. So that's for another video. Let's get into it. So first I'm gonna start off on these top shelves, and I'm gonna go from left to right, then work my way down to the second tier and go left to right. And I'm gonna show you the 6 that I have on display over here next to the Davey Allison flag. All right, the first car I'm gonna start with is this 2014 Jeff Gordon Drive to In Hunger autographed Chevrolet Impala. This is one of the first die-casts that I actually remember going and buying from a store. There was a store between Nashville and Knoxville. I forget what the name of the store was, but it was a huge NASCAR store, and my dad actually got me this one, and I've had this forever. I didn't have it displayed for the longest time, but it was a Jeff Gordon car, and Jeff Gordon was my favorite driver, and it's autoed, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put it on the shelf. So it's nothing like his flame paint schemes. This is probably one of my most sentimental die-casts because my dad got this for me. And also, I just love the red to the black gradient. It's really, really cool. Also, I'm gonna go 124s to 164s shelf by shelf just to keep you updated. The second die-cast I'm gonna show you is this 2024 Tyler Reddick Jordan Brand Talladega win. Got this one pretty recently. I actually talked about this in a previous video, but I just absolutely love this paint scheme, and I love this car, and I love the brand. I love how it is a super speedway win. I love super speedway racing. You have the window that is out of it right there, and the car just looks really, really clean. I love the white. I love the black hood with the Jordan Brand logo. It's probably one of my favorite paint schemes, and also the detail on these cars is pretty amazing. And you can see, like, right here, you may not be able to tell, but this tire right here is flat. And so what they did is basically there's like a flat spot on it at the bottom. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can kind of see how it just is completely flat comparatively to the roundness of that tire. I love this car. Moving on to die-cast number 3. This is a 2007 Jeff Gordon race win car. Now, I think this is from Phoenix when he beat Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s record. And don't quote me on that, but I believe that's true. I just love this car. I actually bought this on a whim a couple years ago on eBay. I was like, you know what? I want a race win Jeff Gordon COT because I don't have a COT race win yet. And I just think it's really cool. It's one of the paint schemes that I have grown up with, this red and blue flame DuPont scheme. And overall, it's just a pretty badass car. I mean, it's really cool looking. On this side, you could see the scuff marks above the tires, and you could see just every little detail of this car with the confetti. Looks really cool. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I'm a big Jeff Gordon fan, so get ready for a couple more Gordon die-casts. Moving on to die-cast number 4. This is a 1999 Rainbow Warrior Jeff Gordon die-cast. Now, this one I bought on a whim as well. A couple years ago, I went through like a quarter or a fifth life crisis, essentially, and went and bought a couple die-casts along with the one that I just showed. And this is one that I thought was really, really cool because it was one of the last years that Gordon ran this rainbow scheme. And again, I haven't had a rainbow scheme in my collection. I actually do have a throwback scheme that William Byron ran, but I didn't have a truly Rainbow Warrior Jeff Gordon die-cast. So this is the first one, and it looks really good. I got it off of eBay. I was really surprised at the quality because typically on eBay, you either hit like a home run or it's a huge miss. Sometimes you get some in the middle. I just love this car. It's iconic in NASCAR history. So this is die-cast number 4. Moving on to the 164s on that top shelf, starting off with one of the first ones that I ever got on this, I mean, in general. This is a Jeff Gordon Pepsi 164. Got this off of eBay from my aunt at the time. It's a really cool car. I want to get the 124 version of this, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, you have the gradient there, it's Pepsi, iconic. And we're gonna go rapid fire with these. This is another one that I've had for a while. This is a car that I grew up watching, race. And so I think it was an iconic one. It's a Jeff Gordon flame scheme. Trying to see the year on this. I believe this was 06, 05, 06. But this is a really cool car. Love the scheme. Die-cast number 7 is basically a replica of what I just showed you up there. Now, this is not a race one. This is a standard Jeff Gordon COT flame scheme. The one thing I like about this, hopefully you can see this, is that the paint, the blue paint, is like a pearl scent kind of color. Absolutely love it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Die-cast number 8. This is actually one that I found at a bookstore, and I got it for like $3. It is Jeff Gordon's Rainbow Warrior scheme, and I love this because I didn't have a 164 version of it, so I thought this was really, really cool. It's on this cool little stand. You understand why I like it. Moving on to die-cast number, is that 9? 9, 10, and 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Moving on to diecast number 9, 10, and 11. I got these from the Lionel store here in Nashville, Tennessee. These are all William Byron paint schemes, and these are not the typical ones you find in that plastic casing at a Walmart or anything like that. These are the ones that come in the little boxes that are one of the most highly sought after 1/64 scale because of the detail, because of the colors, because of the actual materials that are used. Also, it's not that just neutral gray color in the middle. It's for the frame, it's actually black, as you can see right there with black all around. These are a couple of my favorite schemes that he has ran. I love the Valvoline with the gray and the blue. This is another one that I got. I just got this one honestly off a whim. And then the Raptor scheme, I love the gradient. I'm a big fan of gradients, and you see the yellow-ish of the Raptor to the white. Big Byron fan as well. These are a couple I'm going to keep in these cases, and I have a whole stack of 1/64 that I put in cases. So I'm going to put these down before I drop them. There we go. Number 12. This is actually a replica 1/64 of Tyler Reddick's race win, and I got this one because I was kind of pressured into it at Lionel, but also it's really cool to see the small race win version of this. This is the same version as I just mentioned with the William Byron cars. These are not the ones that you find in little plastic casing that has the flat back on it that's cardboard. You find these in the boxes. And if I'm recommending to a new diecast collector that wants to collect the highest quality of the 1/64, these are the ones that you want to go for. They're in the square boxes. You find them mainly at the racetrack or at a Lionel store in North Carolina or here in Nashville. I just think it's really cool with all the confetti, and it's just again an iconic brand, and got their first win in NASCAR. Moving on to shelf number 2, this is diecast number 13. This is William Byron's Sunoco Rookie of the Year card that was only released in sets of 3 with his Xfinity Rookie of the Year and his Craftsman Truck Series Rookie of the Year truck that is only released in the box. So the Craftsman truck you cannot find anywhere else except in this box. I love this because it has that Rookie of the Year logo on the top. Just like every other car, it has the rookie stripes that are not available on any cars anymore because NASCAR was like, you know what, we're gonna get away with that. And I got this because of the quantity of it. There's only about 500 of them that were ever made, and maybe a little bit more, like 535. Random number to be exact. But I just love this because I haven't had any of his early raced cars. I haven't had any of William Byron's early paint schemes. This is probably the earliest one that I have of his career in the NASCAR Cup Series. And shout out to my boy J&J Collectibles. He got this for me. And while it's not my favorite Liberty scheme, it's one of my favorite because of the fact that it's so limited. Moving on to diecast number 14. Now this one has an interesting story. So I was actually at a bookstore a couple months ago. Actually, it was probably about a month ago. And I was just looking through the books, the records, the guitar, the games. They have all this different stuff. And I came across diecast at a bookstore. And I'm like, there's diecast? How is that possible? And I came across this. And this is actually a diecast that I've been looking for on eBay, not even kidding, like weeks prior. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get it and all this stuff. Opened the box and came to this beauty. This is a Casey Atwood, number 19 Dodge Spider-Man car. Now, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. It's my favorite superhero, and I wanna start collecting Spider-Man related paint schemes. And this is one of them that I first saw and I loved it. I love the red, I love the black. It's a really cool car, and it's a Dodge. Now, I haven't had a Dodge in my collection, so thought, you know what, I'm gonna add it in. Moving on to diecast number 15. Now, this is not a NASCAR Cup Series car or Xfinity car. This is an IndyCar. This is Joseph Newgarden's 2024 IndyCar Indy 500 paint scheme, and this is probably one of my favorite ones. Got this for Christmas. It was an amazing gift to get, and it's my first ever full scale 1/18 scale IndyCar. And these things are heavy duty. The detail is impeccable. And I hope he can go back to back to back and see if he can win it again. And so while we're on the topic of IndyCar, let's move over to the 1/64s that I have. And this is also a Joseph Newgarden as well with this little guy. So diecast number 16 and 17 of this list. Actually, hold on, let me count. Yeah, 16 and 17 on this list. This is his PPG and his Hitachi paint scheme right here. Now these two I have got at Lionel. And the catch is they don't sell 1/18 scale, the big ones, at Lionel in Nashville. And the reasoning I have that is because they want to disperse Joseph Newgarden stuff across the country instead of where he's from, because they know if they put it where he's from, the people and the natives are going to want to buy his stuff. So they're trying to get it out to newer consumers and newer customers and new fans. I get it, but as a Joseph Newgarden fan, it kind of sucks. So they only had the 118 or the 164s, but still, these are really cool to see. And they're done really, really well. And they have rubber wheels, which the NASCAR Cup Series 164s don't have the rubber wheels. So I love those about these. Moving right along here. This is a Jeff Gordon Platinum car that I got off of eBay a couple weeks ago. It was like 20 bucks, and I was kind of shocked that there was only, it was only 20 bucks because it was a Platinum car. I'm gonna take it out of the case and see if we can actually show this. Awesome. So this car is in great condition, and I love it because it is the $1 billion Pepsi scheme. And I am a big fan of chrome cars. I love chrome numbers like Trackhouse has been introducing. And when I saw this, I was like, you know what? It's Jeff Gordon, favorite driver. It's a 24, favorite number. And it's chrome or platinum, whatever it may be. It's really shiny and I like it. That's funny. Somebody better clip that. Looking at this, it's a really cool car. Got it for like 20 bucks and I was shocked. So this is going to be out of my collection. I believe there are only, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there are only maybe 500 of these made. I would have to check. But very limited run for the Platinums. I probably have close to 25 sitting right here. You can't really tell, but that shelf is basically empty now. So let's go through one by one. I'm just gonna start from my left and go to my right. So I'm a big fan of William Byron. I'm a big fan of race wins. And when Lionel released these, I was stoked to see these in stores. This is William Byron's 2022 Raptor paint scheme and Raptor car that he won at Martinsville. And this was a great race to watch. I love the car. I love the confetti on it. Looks really cool. Let's keep on moving down to some more race wins. This is Zane Smith's race win from Daytona in the Truck Series. If you see my content, I'm pretty bullish on Zane Smith and this Daytona 500 coming up here in 2025, so better watch out for that. This was a really cool one. It has all of the scuff marks, and I was pretty bullish on Zane Smith, especially when he was in the Truck Series, so I got this as like, you know what? If he does something in the Cup Series, this might be worth maybe just a little bit more as time goes on. Diecast number 21, I lost count here, is Ross Chastain's I Fly paint scheme that he won at COTA back in 2022. And I got this because I'm a huge Ross Chastain fan. If I had to go for another team outside of Hendrick, I'm going to go for Trackhouse. And I just thought it was a cool car. It looks really cool. The red, the black, it's one of my favorite color combinations. It's a race win as well because I love collecting race wins. And plus, I'm a big fan of Circuit of the Americas. So when they put this out, I was like, I got to get this one. Keeping on track with the race wins, we're going to go back to William Byron. This is the first time that they ran on Atlanta in the new configuration, and he won this race. And it is a Liberty University paint scheme. Again, love it because it's William Byron. It's a race win. It's a 164. I could not get it. And it's the same reason why I got this one as well. This is William Byron's race win, again from 2022 from Las Vegas. I had to keep on looking at the dates because I can't remember exactly when these races were. And this is one of the Raptor schemes that he ran. And I love this because the confetti is really consolidated to like the left side of the car, so you can see it really clearly. Again, I love the Raptor schemes. I love the yellow and the white, or the neon yellow and the white and the black. Another cool car. This is William Byron's Martinsville win that he got back in 2021 in the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet Silverado. So this one was really cool because it's one of his first race wins that I have in a truck. I actually have William Byron's truck on a shelf that I'm going to show you here in a little bit from his rookie season. But this is a really cool one because this is one of the one-off races that he did and won in this truck. Really cool car. Moving on to diecast number 26. This is Kevin Harvick's number 4 Ford Subway ski. Now I got this one in those cheap packaging that I talked about before. Nothing really special about this one outside of the fact that it's Subway. I didn't have a Subway car. I don't really have a lot of green cars from 2022. And it's Kevin Harvick. Moving on to diecast number 27. This is William Byron's 2024 Daytona 500 scheme before they removed this back black marker over the Exalta. So you'll see when we get to that one over there, the race win, that they took away the black where the Exalta was. I thought this was really cool because it shows the difference in the schemes. And so this one is one that I got again in the boxes. I didn't get in the flat cardboard packaging. I'm a Byron fan. I had to get this one. We've got a diecast number 28. This is an iconic one. This is when Mr. Kevin Harvick threw back to one of his old paint schemes that he won in the Cup Series, his championship in. It's the Budweiser number 4. Love that it's on this plastic platform here, and it really displays really, really well from 2023. As a NASCAR fan in general, having this iconic car, especially in the 164, is really cool to have. Moving on to number 29. This is one that I found on eBay, and I was dying to have this. I want to have this in the 124 version. This is one of Jeff Gordon's first race cars. This is actually a Ford Thunderbird, and it is his number 1 Baby Ruth paint scheme. And it's really cool because this is one of the earlier cars that you can find. And this one was in like literally pristine condition. I'm not even kidding. It was impeccable when I found it, and it looks really cool. And it's something that you just don't see every day. Moving on to number 30. This is a one-off DEI number 3 John Wayne Dale Earnhardt Sr. 164. Now this comes in a 2-car pack. I don't know where the other one is. I think it's actually on my shelf. But this is really cool because this is a combination of Dale Earnhardt Sr. and John Wayne. Not sure if you can see that from the side. I got this when I was a kid. I thought it was pretty badass at the time, and I still think it is. That's why I have it on my shelf. Moving on over to number 31. This is Chase Elliott's Hooters paint scheme. And the cool thing about this one is that it is the Pearl Scent Orange. This one is kind of like one of those anomalies to where Hooters backed out, or there was that quarrel between Hooters and Hendrick Motorsports. And I got this last year in 2024. It's a 2024 scheme. Really cool to see these kind of cars in my collection, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to buy it because it's Chase Elliott. It's cool. It's Hooters. It's the first one I found. Then circumstances happen. Diecast number 32, I think. This is one I got from one of my friends, Michael, and it's a really cool car. It is Kevin Harvick's throwback that he ran at North Wilkesboro to his win that he had in Atlanta, his first Cup Series win. Back in 2001, beating out my favorite driver, Jeff Gordon. And I just love this car. I mean, it is so cool to see. I love that it's on the stand here. I would do that there so you can actually see it. This is just a really cool car, and it's reminiscent. I want to get the 164 version of his car back in 01, and also have the 124 scale to put it all together. It's just really cool to see the brands collab, the paint scheme come back, and Harvick run that 29 car again. Moving on to diecast number 33. This is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s National Guard camo paint scheme. Now, again, I want to try to keep this from banging all over the place. I'm going to actually move it forward. This is a really cool car. It's actually in that bag that I talked about that I haven't opened in years. It's one of the ones that I got out because I thought this was such a unique paint scheme to have. I love that it's a COT. I love it's Dale Jr. I love it's the 88. And it's National Guard. It's just a really cool paint scheme. Moving on to number 34. This is another William Byron, and this is actually a Daytona Exalta prototype technically. So when they first start releasing the next gen cars as diecast, specifically the 164s, they called them prototypes. And so this is actually one that you might not find every single day. And also it's a paint scheme that I have been dying to get in my collection just because I love what they did with the Exalta, kind of throwing it back to Jeff Gordon, but also it's a modern version of the Rainbow Warrior. Again, really cool car here. That's number 34. Let's move on to 35. Now, my Formula One fans are going to appreciate this one. This is number 91 Onyx Chevrolet, Mr. Kimi Räikkönen when he ran for Trackhouse back in COTA. This is a really cool car. I just loved it because it was Kimi Räikkönen. It was F1 combining with NASCAR. Also, it's a red and black scheme, which is one of my favorites. And I suspect that this is what Elio Castroneves' car, depending on when it's released, is going to look like. I mean, it's pretty similar. His fire suit looks very similar to this color scheme. So I think this could be potentially what that car looks like. But this is diecast number 35. Let's move on now to number 36. This is a truck. And it's actually Mr. Rajah Caruth, the Wendell Scott Foundation Chevrolet Silverado. And this car is a pretty unique one to find. Now, it's a basic one that you'll find in any of those casings, but I've seen these pretty much go for double or triple of what they're actually worth. I have this in a case. It's one of my first ever Rajah Caruth's cars. I'm a big Rajah fan. I think he has a lot of potential, and I think it's just a really cool car, plus it's 24. Moving on to number 37. I have one that is a fan favorite. This is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s number 88 Xfinity Series car when he ran, I believe, at Bristol. And this car, honestly, is not done too well. You can't really tell, but it's kind of a cheap paint scheme, gonna be honest. The style's fine, but just looking at it, it's not as the same quality as some of these other ones. But either way, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's when he came back, ran the 88, had to get this one. Sticking on the Dale Earnhardt Jr. scheme, this is his number 3 Sundrop raced version that he ran, and it looks really cool as the race. I'm going to slide this over. Cool to see the tire marks, cool to see the Bear Bond tape on the back. It's just a really badass car. It's actually my first late model diecast that I ever got. And I just think it's really, really cool. I'm a big fan of the late models. I actually want to get a late model of his, whether it's the number 8 Budweiser, whether it's the number 3 Sundrop. I got to get one of them. I've been filming this for like 30 minutes and I'm still shocked that there are more to go. Moving on to another one that I have like a custom case for basically. This is Jeff Gordon's Phoenix win. Similar, actually identical to the one that I just have up there, but this is a 1/64 scale. So exact same car, just in the 1/64 again. It's a Gordon scheme. This is number 39 in my collection. Now moving on to number 40. This is one that I found at an estate sale. It's my first Richard Petty diecast. It's a 1/64 STP paint scheme and car from, I believe, the early 90s. I would have to double check that. Let me look. Let me see. It does not say the year on the bottom, unfortunately. Oh well. This is one of my first ones of the King. I have a couple other Richard Petty collectibles, but this is the first diecast that I got. I had to get this one. It was really cool. It's interesting how neon this pink is in this diecast, and it was kept in the box, so it's in its original condition. But it's a very pink and blue car. Number 41. This one I've had ever since I was a kid. It's Tony Stewart's 2007 Watkins Glen winner. I have a little dust on it to clean these up. These race wins I think are really cool, especially with these custom cases. I don't know where I got the custom case, but it was there. And this is a really iconic paint scheme for Tony Stewart. The number 20 Home Depot. You're gonna know if you see this car, you're gonna see Tony Stewart. This is only number 41 and we still have that whole other shelf to go through. Moving on to my last wooden shelf I have over here. And these are some of my most coveted diecasts in my collection, starting with William Byron's 2022 Atlanta Race Win Victory Elite version. I love this car, and it's my goal to build a collection of all of William Byron's race wins. Now, he has 10 plus wins, 13 wins to be exact. And if you do the math on that, $100 a car or $120 a car, it's a lot of money. Either way, this is his Atlanta race win. I have the 1/64, and it's really cool. The detail on these elites is shown. The weight of the car is different because it's they're using different materials, and also the detail of it's really cool. You can see the right rear tire, the Goodyear's rubbed off on it, and you can see on the left rear that it is flat. You can see, like we had before in that other car, like Tyler Reddick's, I believe, that it's flattened off here. Really cool car. Let's move on to diecast number 43. And by the way, these are majority William Byron paint schemes and one Jeff Gordon paint scheme, just to keep you aware. This is car number 2. This is William Byron's Liberty University Xfinity Series scheme, but his Rookie of the Year edition, like I showed before. This is car number 2 in that collection. I love this because I don't have an Xfinity 124 in my collection. Actually, my first Xfinity car. Not a huge fan of the scheme. The scheme's all right. But again, this adds to the rookie year collection of this car. There's only 500 of these ever made. Moving on now to probably my 4 favorite cars that I have in my collection. If you notice, my 4-tier shelf is gone. Thank you, Matt. If you haven't already, go check him out. He has an awesome product of die-cast display shelves and stands that I'm about to show you right now. So it's number 1. First die-cast, William Byron's Martinsville paint scheme. This is a standard version, but it also has his signature on it. But the really cool thing about this is, and hopefully you can see this, won this from Axalta, it's VIN number 24. So this car being number 24 and William Byron being number 24 and this being the 24th car made in this series adds a little bit of value there. But it's really cool because I won this from Axalta. Shout out to Axalta Racing for that. Moving on to the second car in this shelf. This is a William Byron Darlington Race Win number 24 Chevrolet that he won a few years back. And looking at this one, it also has a signature. I actually got this one signed in person. This is my first in-person signature with William Byron. Loved getting this one signed. And the really cool thing about this car is that the rear tires look like they've been shredded to pieces by a cheese shredder. You can see right there how these tires come shredded when it comes to these race winning cars. And that's the one thing I love about race wins, is that it's one of the most unique products you can get in their line. You have the confetti, you have the marks on the car, you have the marks on the tire, you have the shredded tires on the back, and some of them, this is probably up there in my top 5. Moving on now to diecast number 46. This is William Byron's Daytona 500 race winning car, standard version. I got this from my good friend Chuck at Goat Racing Diecast. Go check him out. He has awesome diecasts available, new and old, and you can pre-order with him too. It's really cool. I love this car. I watched this race live, shed a tear when good old Willie B won. And this is probably one of my most sentimental diecasts because seeing this race live and him winning, I haven't experienced a Daytona 500 win since Jeff Gordon won back in 2005. I mean, literally almost 20 years. So this one, very near and dear to my heart again. Another race win. The detail on these cars are phenomenal. And plus, I've used this in some of my videos if you haven't already seen. Now moving on to diecast number 47. This one is my favorite one of my collection. It's very special to me. It's one out of 224. And it's an elite version of this car, and only 224 made. I even left the stickers on them because I wanted to keep this authentic. This is a dual autographed Jeff Gordon, William Byron, Exalta number 24 throwback that William Byron ran a couple years ago. This car is amazing because it encompasses everything that I knew NASCAR to be. I love the flames. I love Jeff Gordon. Love William Byron, love the next gen style of car, love the throwback scheme and this original paint scheme like I have on my shelves. And when I saw this one hit, I had to grab it. It was a limited quantity. It was around my birthday when I bought this, and it took almost a year to get in. And I made a video on this, months and months, or actually close to a year ago, I believe, of me unboxing this one. This is my favorite diecast that I have. It's very near and dear to me. You can see William Byron's signature on the front, Jeff Gordon's signature on the back. Again, I'm a big fan of throwback schemes, and this one really means a lot. Moving on to diecast number 48, keeping on the scheme of autographs and the number 24 and throwbacks. This is William Byron's throwback to Jeff Gordon's Rainbow Warrior paint scheme. That's also autographed. I got this one in that collection of cars that I had like a fifth life crisis. I love this car. I love this paint scheme. I grew up watching Jeff Gordon, obviously, and so seeing this car hit the track with William Byron was really cool to watch. And also it's autoed, which I love the autographed cars. Moving on to diecast number 49. This is a Jeff Gordon Drive to End Hunger AARP Chevrolet SS. This is a really cool car because this is one that my dad got me, and I remember going and getting this one from that same store between here and Knoxville, like I mentioned. And it's one of the first ones I can remember that I looked at it and I was like, this is really cool. I'm gonna start collecting these very intricate and these specific elite diecasts. I really want to collect those detailed diecasts. And so this is a really cool one. This is towards the back end of Jeff Gordon's career, obviously, so nothing like the Rainbow Warrior or the Flames, but really cool to see this version of car in my collection. And moving on to diecast number 50, this is just a William Byron Daytona 500 race win. Not going to explain why it's so sentimental to me again, but again, it's really cool to see the small versions of these. Again, this is the one that you get in the box. It's one of my favorite paint schemes as well. I love the white body with the red flames. Obviously love the confetti on top. Really cool car. Let's move on now to the other shelves that I have over here next to Davey Allison. Now we're getting into some of the more interesting ones. Diecast number 51. This is Max Verstappen's 2022 Abu Dhabi race win diecast. And it's really cool. It's one of my first Formula One cars that I ever got. And what I love about this is the detail of it. The detail of the helmet. The car is really cool. It sits really low, just like an F1 car. And absolutely love this one. And you know what? Since this is a Max Verstappen scheme, you know what I got to do, right? Had to do it, sorry. I'm moving to diecast number 52. This is Charles Leclerc's SF75 that they ran back in 2022. Absolutely love this because this is paying homage to 75 years of Ferrari, and it's just a really badass car. I love the details of it. I love the yellow with the red. It's my favorite Formula One driver too, so that adds another element to it. Plus, Ferrari's my favorite team. You can see that there by the Ferrari hat. And I saw this and I had to get it. And it's one of my favorites in my collection. It's my second F1 car that I have. Diecast number 53. This is going to hit home for all the NASCAR fans. This is Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s 1998 number 3 Goodwrench Service Plus Chevrolet Monte Carlo. And I've had this one in my collection, I think, ever since I was little. I mean, I don't remember not having this diecast. It comes in a case, but it was just too cool not to display out, and I wanted to see it out, and so I have it on some of my shelves over there. Details in this car are phenomenal. You have the red bottom here, which is really cool to see. You have the red interior, also really cool. Obviously the wheels turn, hasn't been turned in a second, so there we go, start making that. There we go, get this thing back up and working. It's a really cool car, and it's one of my most cherished cars because I've had this, like I said, ever since I was a kid. I don't remember not having this. And to pair with that car for number 54, this is a 10-year anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's Daytona 500 win from from 2008, the COT version, essentially. So if Dale Sr. ran up to 2008, this is potentially what his Good Rent Service Plus Chevrolet Impala would have looked like. It's a really cool car because this is the one that came in that John Wayne collection, like I mentioned before. Again, really cool to see, really unique to have, and it's also interesting to see the black number 3 on a COT. Keeping with the Earnhardts, I'm going to go to number 55 here. This is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, and this thing's heavy as hell. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s IROC car that he ran back, I believe, in 99, if I'm not mistaken. And this one, again, I found at a bookstore, and I was completely shocked when I found this because I was like, no way it's in this good of a condition. So this is one of the most unique ones I have. This is not a, NASCAR Cup Series car. It's not an F1 car. It's not an IndyCar. It's not a late model. This is an IROC. It's one of the most unique ones, and it's the first IROC I have in my collection. I really want to get Jeff Gordon's IROC cars. Thought those are really cool. But again, this is one of my most unique cars, I would say. Plus it's bright orange, so go Vols. Moving on to number 56. This is a 1/64 scale version of William Byron's Flame Throwback to good old Jeff Gordon, and it's the exact same one that I have right there. The colors are pretty different though on it. It's more of like a matte maroon red. It's not a bright red like the other one. But again, got this one, thought it was cool, added to my collection. I probably actually need to put it over there with that one. But again, love these throwbacks. Moving on to diecast number 57. This is Jimmy Johnson's 2002 Lowe's autographed raced version. I'm not sure what race it was from. I got this as a Christmas present back in like 06 or 07 when I spent Christmases with my family up in North Carolina, my grandfather's house. But this is probably one of the cars that I kept in a box for a while. I kind of forgot about it, to be honest, because I wasn't a big Jimmy Johnson fan. I was a Jeff Gordon fan. But when I found this, I was like, you know what? It's signed, and I'm going to put this on my shelf. And I love the detail of this on the right side. And if you could help me figure out what race this is from, that'd be really cool. This is going to be obviously a big indicator of what happened on this right side of the car. But this is one of the paint schemes, and this is one of the die casts that I wanted to showcase again, just because it was so cool. And to go with this, I have the 1/64 scale version as well. And so it looks like it is from his rookie season. 2002, so that's going to give you a little hint there. But again, such a cool car, such an iconic paint scheme in NASCAR. Had to put that up. Going to diecast number 59. This is the trifecta, the last car in that collection of William Byron's Rookie of the Year that I have. This is his 2016 Toyota Tundra, one of the first Toyotas I actually got outside of Tyler Reddick's car. And this diecast is special because you only get this in that 3-car set. They didn't sell any other ones in any other set. You can get the other 2 individually, apparently, but this one is only from the 3-car set. So this is a very unique, it's actually my first truck that I've ever gotten. That's a 1/24 scale. And I'm a pretty big fan of this Liberty University scheme. Moving on to number 60. This is William Byron's throwback to Jeff Gordon. I have the 1/24 scale race win here. This is just a standard version with no race win, just a standard diecast. Really cool to see these in these small versions. And again, what else do you expect from me? It's William Byron. I'm going to get it. Moving on now to diecast number 61. We are going back to Formula One. This is Charles Leclerc's SF23. And when I see these in stores, I'm going to get them. Now, I do have a whole set of other ones right here. And so I'm going to go through each one of those as well. But this one's awesome because it is a brighter color comparatively to the SF75. So I love this car. I love the black and the red. Again, one of my favorite color combinations. Moving on to another Formula One. This is Charles Leclerc's basic SF75. So this is not the one that they ran at, I believe it was either Imola or it was Monza. I can't remember. I don't have these displayed, but I have them on the floor over there. I got to find a place for them because I want to have a dedicated F1 shelf. But this is a really cool car to see, and to see the difference between the SF75 and the SF23. And to pair with that, I have Carlos Sainz's SF75. So got these together, really like these a lot. Hope Carlos does well at Williams, we'll see. But got these paired together. Last one I'll show you that is an F1 car. I kind of took it off but then put it back. This is an SF23. Actually got this in Italy during my honeymoon. Went to Milan and went to the Ferrari flagship store, and they had a vending machine. Yes, a freaking vending machine that would dispense cars that you wanted. So I got this one from Italy. I took it off the stand, but actually it looks kind of cool, like elevated like this. I might actually leave it. The last diecast that I want to show you is one that I got from an estate sale. I have 2 others in a box over here. I'm not even going to show you the boxes. It's a lot. But this is Jeff Gordon's number 1. I'll have to figure out a way to pick this up. Hold on. There we go. Without showing everything. Okay. This is Jeff Gordon's number 1 Baby Ruth Racing hauler. This thing is heavy. This is not like the plastic ones that they make now. This baby, this bad boy, is heavy as hell. And the cool thing about this is the box is actually signed. So I love this one because it's one of Jeff Gordon's earliest cars. It's really cool to see. I'm going to take it apart right here. It's really cool to see the detail that goes into these, and it's in pristine condition. I mean, this is from the 90s. And when I pulled these out of the box, I mean, it had the certificate of authenticity. It had everything in it like it hadn't even been touched. And I believe this one is one out of either 5,000 or 3,500. Really cool to see. Now, folks, when I tell you I have more stuff that I don't even have displayed, or it's just stuff I'm gonna put in storage, literally, I have more. There's a whole other box under this, and this bag right here is literally just a miscellaneous bag that I have, but I'll just give you one quick glimpse about what's in this. These are all diecasts that I had as a kid that I kind of beat up and destroyed. This is Dale Jarrett's number 44 UPS car, as an example. You have freaking Kevin Harvick's number 29 gradient paint scheme that I don't even know when it's from. Let's see, 2005. That I beat up as a kid, because any kid that gets these cars, I'm gonna race them around and wreck them. So of course that's what I did. So I don't have these displayed, but this is literally probably has 20 diecasts in this box and in this bag, and there's so many more that I haven't even gone through. But that is the entire diecast collection that I have displayed, and that is only the beginning, and this is only the beginning. I plan to get more, and I want to get more for different paint schemes. My next one that I'm going to get is probably going to be Brad Keselowski's 2024 Darlington win, that Castrol car. If I could find that one, and then the car that he threw it back to in the 90s, that would be so cool to have those side by side. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more, or want me to go through anything else in my collection here, because I have an Indy 500 cup right there. I have a Jeff Gordon Funko Pop. I have a couple card collections as well from the 90s, as well as some new ones, F1 and NASCAR. Let me know in the comments, and if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to me, the Motorsport Enthusiast, so we can grow this community of motorsport enthusiasts. I'm gonna go get some food because I am starving after going through all these cars.